You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become.
That you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful. It's hard to kill the human spirit. Anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. The real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. It takes courage to act. Part of being hungry when you've been defeated, it takes courage to start over again. Fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can aid you, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you.
At the end of your feelings is nothing, but at the end of every principle is a promise. Behind your little feelings, it might not be absolutely nothing at the end of your little feelings, but behind every principle is a promise. And some of you in your life, the reason why you're not at your goal right now, because you're just all about your feelings. You all on your feelings. You don't feel like waking up. So who does? Every day you say no to your dreams, you might be pushing your dreams back a whole 6 months, a whole year. That one single day, that one day you didn't get up could have pushed your stuff back I don't know how long. Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it. It's not going to be easy. When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. And I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. Take full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are and the responsibility that you're going to take yourself where you want to go. You can decide that I'm going to live each day as if it were my last. Live your life with passion, with some drive.
Decide that you're going to push yourself. The last chapter to your life has not been written yet, and it doesn't matter about what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it?
This year I will make this goal become a reality. I won't talk about it anymore. I can. I can. I can.
To persevere, I think, is important for everybody. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything.
It's time for a new you at the 2021 Virtual Kickoff Rally. Please welcome to the stage Vice President of Sales for Southern Africa, Drew McDermott.
It's amazing how this world can change in 12 short months. Just this time last year, I was traveling all over the region. We were doing kickoff events in rooms that had hundreds of people. We were hugging, we were shaking hands, we were sharing meals. And if anything, the last 12 months has shown us that change is inevitable. Change is going to happen to all of us. It's emphasized the need for us to be willing to adapt and pivot the way we think. It's forced us to get uncomfortable, to think outside the box, to learn some new skills. But it's also showing us a way, and a better way, to do many things. And I just believe this virtual kickoff is a great example of that. It's given us an opportunity to connect and get this year started together as a NeoLife family. And personally, I have a lot of excitement for today's event. We have got the most incredible lineup for you. In just a moment, we'll be hearing from our CEO, Kendra Brassfield. You're going to hear from distributors who, get this, more than doubled or tripled their business in 2020. And we know that success leaves clues, right? And so we have asked them to share with us what did they do to achieve these big results. We have the amazing Liz Geertz and Brandon Msondo lined up to share some critical product and business information with you. We've got a bunch of product and cash that we really want to give away to you guys on this call today. And just to dial this event right up, and to add maximum value to the most important people on this call, you, our distributors, we have invited a keynote speaker to join us this afternoon, the inspirational and passionate Mr. Vusi Tembekwayo. But before we go any further, let's just take a look at who is online with us and what countries you are dialing in from. We are streaming this live to our Facebook group. We are streaming this to our Zoom channel. We are streaming this to our YouTube channel. And so it doesn't matter where you're watching from today, I want you to be a part of this event. Yes, we're not in the same room, but we are part of the same event. So I want to feel your comments coming through. I want to know what city, what town, what country you are calling in from today. I want to feel your energy come to us in the studio. We want you to participate in this event. And so starting with the beautiful people and the beautiful country of Namibia, give us a shout out, let us know that you're online. It's great to have you with us. We are very proud of what you did last year. We know you have big plans for 2021, and we're looking forward to seeing you execute those and achieve them. Team Botswana is your next door neighbors in Botswana. Team Botswana, make some noise. You guys broke all the rules last year. You paid no attention to declining economies. In fact, Botswana's business grew by over 30% in the last 12 months. Isn't that incredible? So give your Botswana teammates a high five. The big little mountain kingdom of Lesotho, they also paid no attention to what is going on in the world. Their business grew by over 50% over the last 12 months. Just keep going, team. It's a phenomenal what we are seeing happening in this region. Team Eswatini, another strong year, man. It's so exciting to see that that country develop. I know we've got an exciting 12 months ahead of us for Eswatini. And moving across to your neighbors in Mozambique, we haven't officially been operating in Mozambique. I'm so stoked and proud to say that we will officially be in Mozambique within a matter of weeks now. It's about to happen. Mozambican team without product, without a DC, without the company formally operating there. They produced their own president's team member, Adelina Machado. They have achieved such a magnificent results. And I just know that now that you're going to have the product in your region, in your country, you're going to have the opportunity in your country, you're going to be bringing hope into Mozambique. Yes, you've done a great job, but you're just scratching the surface of your true potential in their country. And then to my heart and my home, South Africa. Every day I'm getting stories of how people's lives are being changed because of our product. How people's lives are being changed because of our opportunity. And all of these stories from around the Southern African region have translated into this tremendous growth for this NeoLife family. And I just want to give a special welcome and shout out to our world team leaders and president's team leaders on this call. You know who you are, and I just want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank you for your guidance, your mentorship, your passion through the last 12 months, and just navigating what has been going on in the world. You mean so much to this NeoLife family. So, while our distributors are online, just, hey, give your world team or your upline president's team member just a shout out. Let them know that we love them and we're grateful for what they do for this family. And then I can see, I know this is a Southern African convention, but I can see we have a lot of our East African brothers and sisters online. From Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. It is fantastic to have you with us. I know the value you're going to get from this event is going to be enormous, and we just love having you online with us. Today's event is about exploring and celebrating the possibilities and opportunity of a new year. Casting our vision into 2021 and having a clear vision of what we are running towards and what we have to do to get there. But right now we are going to just pause for a second and briefly reflect back on last year and recognize some of the big steps that were achieved in our region. And I remember it like it was yesterday. That first Zoom call we did back in March last year. We were on Zoom because all of our meetings and events had been cancelled and shut down. And I remember on that call, we were hanging on to a little saying, in every adversity and in every challenge contains within it a seed of opportunity. And we identified the opportunity that we had to reach out to more people. Not to make a sale or to sign up a new distributor, but to reach out and make a difference. To reach out to that family concerned about their health. To reach out to that person who just lost their job. To reach out to that business owner who can no longer do business. Because reaching out and sharing our product and sharing our opportunity to people who have health and financial goals or challenges is how we build our business. And that is exactly what this NeoLife family did. We've had a big increase in the number of people that have said yes to our product. We've had a big increase in the number of people that said yes to our opportunity. And NeoLife, as a result, NeoLife Africa experienced tremendous growth. So to recognize some of 2020's top achievements, let's hand over to Brandon Sondo.
Please welcome to the stage Sales Director for Southern Africa, Brandon Masondo.
Wow, thank you very much, Drew. And I just want to say congratulations to everybody that is on the call, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to recognize some of our distributors in our region who have done exceptional well in 2020. Firstly, I would like to thank each and every one of you who's logged in today, and thank you for what you do, changing people's lives and giving hope to many in our region. To all the guests, welcome again to you to this meeting. And I'd like to recognize everybody that is on this call. Recognition is very important in our business, and we make sure that we do recognize all of our achievements at every level. 2020 was a year full of surprises worldwide, and there were a lot of disruptions that we have learned to live with. Our NeoLife family, our distributors, despite all of this, they have showed a lot of resilience and went an extra mile to grow their businesses. As they navigated through a lot of uncertainty, they found more opportunities to increase the sizes of their businesses and share more of the products and share more of the opportunity to people. By doing so, this led them to stepping up and growing their businesses. To all the directors who stepped up in 2020, I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. In our region, we had more than 40 new directors, and for me, that is exciting. And in 2021, definitely, we're going to see more and more. And congratulations to each and every director that is on the call here today, because what you have achieved is so much fulfilling for yourself and for the team and for many people that are seeing you achieve. They realize that, hey, it is possible. Becoming a director, you qualify for many, many things. And one of them is that you qualify and get the maximum sales volume bonus of 25%, and then you qualify for leadership development bonus and plus. By stepping up to director level, you receive a prestigious director pin. And by getting that pin, it shows that you have done wonderful. You have done very well. New directors, they also get a surprise, a beautiful gift from NeoLife. And you have an opportunity to attend special events. We're going to talk about that at a later stage. And there are so many, many more benefits that we're going to share with you at a later stage. And congratulations again to all of our directors. Now, we're going to move to our well teams. This is directors who have directors in their teams. So our well team step-ups, these are directors, as I said, that who have directors in their team. It could be one or more directors. And I'm going to start with our Sapphire directors, brand new Sapphire directors of 2020. That is Ufumile and Moses Madimabe from Botswana, Taimi and Aaron Shilongo from Namibia, Peter Ramafikeng from the Mountain Kingdom, Lesotho, Jan and Noel Ross, Isabel and Carlos Tete from Mozambique, Zandile and Olane Gupega from KwaZulu-Natal, Brian and Berth Vermeulen. Congratulations to you guys. And then Richard and Karen Holloway, brand new Sapphire directors, Judith Pila from Botswana, Andre Comrie from South Africa. We see where in Siviwe Nkomo from the Eastern Cape, Ophelia and Jose Machado from Mozambique, Shelley Henson Coyens. And I just want to say to each and every one of you guys, our new Sapphire directors, congratulations and well done, and keep on going. And it just goes to show that when you share this opportunity with other people, success comes your way. And then we move from Sapphire directors to our brand new One Ruby directors. For me, this is an exciting step because when you are a Ruby, you're closer to becoming a president's team member. So we have people who stepped up to One Ruby directors, and that is Edward Eneseza Nambasi, Tikutwane Tibotelo, Tanya Kovani, and Elisio Monjane. So Tanya from Mozambique, Tikutwane Tibotelo from Botswana, Edward Eneseza Nambasi from South Africa in Durban. Congratulations and well done to you guys for your achievements. And it doesn't end there, because we had people who were One Ruby directors and they stepped up to 2 Ruby directors, and their businesses are doing more than 30,000 PV, group PV. And it's exciting to see that there are people who stepped up to 2 Ruby directors, and that is Alice Samo, all the way from a beautiful country, and that is Mozambique. And congratulations to you. Bravo, bravo, bravo. I just want to say congratulations to everybody that has stepped up. There are so many benefits of being a World Team member and President's Team member. The travel, the lifestyle, the cash incentives, and much, much more. Your success is our success. Keep on developing more directors, and let's double or even triple the 40 new directors that we developed last year, and let's make it happen in 2020. We're going to move on to the next session. We have an incredible session that is lined up, and it is with great pleasure to introduce the next speaker. And it's a person with great vision, innovation, passion, and unwavering commitment for the success of our distributors and success of this company. Let's hand over to our CEO, that is Kendra Bressfield.
Please welcome our guest speaker, the CEO of NeoLife International, Kendra Bressfield.
I'm so thankful to be able to join our NeoLife family in South Africa to kick off 2021. I was actually just having a conversation with my dad about how much we miss spending time with you. And On behalf of both of us, I just want to send big virtual hugs to all of you. I really get excited about the start of a new year, because doesn't it just feel like an opportunity for a fresh start? Like you can take the good things with you and leave behind the rest. I think we all wish that we could leave coronavirus behind in 2020. But since that's not possible, I want to focus on all the good things that I hope we can take with us and why we can all make 2021 just the most amazing and meaningful year we've ever lived. And I want to start by sharing a verse that keeps coming back into my mind from the Bible. It's 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. I just love that verse. We're not given a spirit of fear. We shouldn't fear, but we should have power, love, and a sound mind. And it's easier to say that than to do it, right? I mean, it seems like over the last few months, just the fear around us has been getting worse and worse. People are scared of getting the virus, scared of dying, losing their jobs, scared of not having enough money. And I think something we don't even realize sometimes is that the thing that we should be afraid of more than anything else is fear itself. I've always been kind of fascinated with the science of the brain, and I love to read about it. I find it pretty incredible what happens to our brain and our bodies when we feel fear. We go into this survival mode. And so it triggers this area of the brain known as the fear center, and it just takes over. So we get stress hormones in our body, our heart rate and our blood pressure rise. We get more blood to our muscles, so we're ready to run or to fight. And the brain, the part of the brain that controls executive functions, so things like concentration, rational decision making, those are taken over by a part that's designed to sense threats. And then the really crazy part is that the things that are not necessary for survival in that very moment will actually shut down or slow down to conserve energy. So just like your immune system and your digestive system, they both shut down or slow down. That's right. Our immune system slows down when we're scared. And that's all really helpful if someone's trying to break into your house or kill you, but not very helpful when it comes to what we're facing today, or money problems, COVID, many of the things that we get scared about in our daily lives. It's actually kind of dangerous if you have a low immune system and you can't think clearly. And so that's even scary to think about, right? But there's such a simple solution to overcoming fear. And by the way, I'm not saying that we should act like the coronavirus is not a thing. Stay safe, wear a mask. That's not being scared. That's just being smart. But fear and worry over things that are outside of our control are unhealthy. It's the kind of fear that's paralyzing. And the solution is so simple. And that is perspective. We can learn to control our perspective and just how we see things. If we're truly going to make 2021 the most amazing and meaningful year we've ever lived, we're all going to need to have a perspective that allows us to succeed. And this has never been more important because our mission has never been more important: to make the world a healthier and happier place. And our commitment to end the trend of poor health and poverty, those are important things. And I want to ask you, what is your perspective? So what do you think about the present moment that we're in and the months ahead? What do you see? I can tell you what I see. I see just a rare moment of opportunity. An opportunity that we are perfectly positioned for. I know many of you agree. And it's not brain science that when there's a global health crisis, people are searching for solutions to better health. We just so happen to make the most effective and highest quality supplements that money can buy to give people the best chance of having optimal health. I mean, who can say that they have a product that's actually clinically proven in humans to boost key markers of immune function by 37% in just 20 days? We can with carotenoid complex, with Pro Vitality. And with or without the pandemic, people need a solution for better health. But right now, our opportunity is so much bigger because we can reach more people than ever, since they are more open to just listening to us than ever before. And when you look at how perfectly positioned we are with our products, it really becomes obvious that we're also in the perfect business opportunity. Even before the pandemic in South Africa, you guys had a high unemployment rate, one of the highest income inequalities in the world. And now the situation has gotten worse, both in your country as well as every other country's economy around the world. People are just struggling. And we have the power to change that. The NeoLife economy is strong and it's only getting stronger. Our business opportunity has never been stronger. And if you think about it, everybody in the world just about is asking two big questions. They're asking, one, how do I protect my health? And two, how do I protect my financial future? And we have the answer with NeoLife. There's a lot of just tragedy and desperation in the world right now, but it's my hope that we can be there for them, that we can give them hope. We literally have the power to transform people's health and finances. We inspire people and families and communities just to make healthier decisions by giving them access to the best products. And we offer a way to earn extra money as a side business or a lot of money as a full-time business. They can decide. In the past, we've always said that this business can be done from anywhere, including from your home. And we've really put that to the test. We were forced to put that to the test of this past year, and we have proven it to be true. When the first wave hit last year, there was a big learning curve. We were all figuring out how to get connected online, how to be effective using Zoom and sharing digital tools. But this time around, we are so prepared. We're even more prepared. And last year, we actually, as a company, had double-digit growth globally in both product sales and new distributors. And NeoLife leaders around the world, you have just done an incredible job of stepping up and figuring out how to run your businesses successfully online. And we're just seeing people around the world having record-breaking months, new leaders stepping up to the world team and president's team, just more step-ups than ever before. And the most exciting part about all of that to me is that we know that growth and success in NeoLife is an indication of the positive difference that we are making one person at a time. And so I want to thank you for making that possible. And thank you to Drew and Brandon and the team. This really is just the beginning. Every person in this room, you have access to the same opportunity that Charlie and Alta Bolton have, and Rory and Nolan McDermott and the McQuainas have. But it only works when you decide that you have what it takes to build the future you want, and then do it. Take action, find needs, reach out, share with people every day. I know we're not meeting people like we used to, but we can still make connections. We can have phone calls, online events, and just check in with people. Let them know that you care enough about them to share with them. Now is the time to reach out. There are people out there that may have thought they were too busy before. They might have never taken a look at NeoLife. And that's all changed. They are now looking for the very thing that you have. And so it's so simple. Focus on sharing the opportunity. Something like, with what's going on, I'm focused on my home-based business. And I know you are a nurse or driver or chef or whatever they are. And you can say that we work with a lot of other nurses or drivers or chefs to help them make extra money from home. And would you be open to taking a look at what we're doing to make extra money? Even people who have said no before, you can contact them and tell them that they aren't interested, but do you know anybody who might be interested that is in your circle of friends? And they might even change their minds. There are so many ways to share. It really doesn't matter what you say as much as it matters that you just say something. Build those relationships and look to your leaders. There are so many incredible leaders in the teams in South Africa and Southern Africa and the NeoLife world that are there to help you. And I know every single person here with the right perspective can show people why this is just such a rare moment of opportunity. And I know that we can all make 2021 the most amazing and meaningful year we've ever lived. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of the NeoLife family. Love you all. God bless. Hope you have a great rest of your event.
Please welcome to the stage Product Director for Africa, Liz Geertz.
Well, hello everyone. Wasn't it great just to be able to connect there with our CEO, Kendra? You know, she's pretty much halfway around the other side of the world, and it was almost like she's in the room with us, which was fantastic. And of course, you heard her talking and referencing our mission, you know, to make the world a healthier and a happier place, by ending the trend of poor health and poverty. And in the course of this afternoon, I want to actually highlight how seriously we actually take this commitment and how we can work to achieve it. And we're going to talk about our products in terms of what we've been doing recently, what we're planning to do, what we're doing right now. So we're going to have some fun in terms of the products. You know, if we think about the chronic diseases, in other words, this trend of poor health that she was talking about, it's those chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer. They're really the drivers of what is causing this trend of poor health. And it's one that modern medicine hasn't got a handle on. Well, of course, NeoLife doesn't manufacture medicine, but what we have chosen to do is use nutrition as our weapon. And what we do in NeoLife is we take credible science and we turn it into practical solutions so that people can balance and manage their health, even if it is in the context of a more serious condition. And one such health condition that's really accelerating this problem, in fact, it's at an exponential rate, in fact, is the rate of poor glucose control that is happening all around the world, ultimately leading to diabetes. And so I think that many of you have probably seen the slide where the International Federation for Diabetics is actually showing us exactly what is happening around the world. And if ever a curve needed to be flattened, here is one. And if we look at just what's projected for the next, somewhat 25 years, this is a very, very scary picture. And in fact, Africa is leading the charge, and not in a positive way, I must say. So what we have done is we've put our forward thinking, as we talked about, in terms of our products and our mission, and we have made a huge impact, and we plan to continue to make a huge impact by introducing products like Botanical Balance, for example. And as you know, we not only put our science into our products and investigate what health trends are out there, but we actually make sure that we test our products. So we've done a lot of research, and we've actually shared some of that with you, I think, previously. You know, we know that this particular product makes an impact on our blood sugar levels. We know, for example, that it works with our natural biochemistry. We know it influences appetite. It influences mood and our brain function. And that makes sense, because if our sugars are constantly up and then down and then up and then down, we're going to feel like that too. Satisfied 1 minute, hungry the next, focused 1 minute, sleepy the next. And so this has made a huge impact, and we are certainly taking that commitment of slowing down that trend of poor health. It also influenced blood fats, and we're going to do some more research on that, so we'll be pleased to be able to share that with you. So what I think we need to realize that we're talking about diabetes and poor glucose control, but all these conditions actually are interwoven. There's almost a ripple effect. And so we are really taking this by the scruff of the neck, and we're saying we're going to make a difference, and we are committed to our mission. But I think since the product's been on the market for a couple of months now, we've got some really good feedback from people, and we really appreciate it. And I think really people's stories tell it much better than I can ever do it. So I'm going to put up a couple of slides on testimonies, really, feedback that we've had from people that have used the products. And we're going to I've just highlighted little features so that you can actually look at it for a couple of seconds and just pick up the gist of what has actually benefited them, how they've used the product, and how they view the product. So we're going to kind of move from people who have got a pre-diabetic state, something where you can actually really make a difference, or are insulin resistant, still not fully diabetic, going into those who are perhaps type 2 diabetic, and then on to those who are completely insulin dependent. So I'm going to just put up those slides in a second at a time, and you can actually have a look at them as I've highlighted the features. And you'll see there that, here we've got this pre-diabetic, increased her energy, her blood glucose wasn't seesawing, and she's, taken better control of what she's eating, which is what we were talking about, and lost weight. So remember, we talked about obesity as one of those drivers of these diseases, completely intertwined and interwoven in the negativity of these chronic diseases. Here we've got Aisha, and she's suffering from insulin resistance, also a pre-diabetic state. and has a family history, so that's always a red flag. But she's managed to lose some weight, and she's in fact had such an improvement that she's starting to talk to others, and her mum is actually now on the product. So I think you can see the benefits they're starting to happen. Here we go into someone who is a type 2 diabetic. And blood glucose levels were, increasing, in fact, and not being under control, and just by using the product in a very short space of time. These are not our stories, these are people's experiences, and I think that's what's so powerful, when we can actually share something that's authentic. And then, of course, we've got people, again, who, as I said, it helps appetite. That's something we've already found in our research, something we anticipated. But you'll see there that someone here saying, I'm not eating as much, I don't have the cravings I used to have. And her husband, and actually we laugh because he wasn't quite sure why he was taking the product and what it was supposed to do for him. But boy, did he get a good result. So his blood glucose levels have come down dramatically and lost some weight. And there again, obesity is one of the underlying problems in all these diseases. And then, of course, we go on to people who've had diabetes for a long time and who are insulin dependent, in fact. And here we can actually illustrate the problems that come along with diabetes. Because, again, kidney issues are as a result of the condition, and that ripple effect through all the other conditions as well, heart disease, for example. And here you'll see that Andy, in fact, helped to not only reduce his insulin levels, but also regulated his blood pressure and his cholesterol. So there's the relationship of heart health and diabetes. And he's really excited. But what we just want to be careful in terms of those who are diabetic and insulin dependent is that you do discuss it with your doctor, that you work with him, because he'll be delighted too that you'll probably be able to reduce your insulin levels. So don't try to do it on your own, work with your doctor, and maybe you'll have a convert. And then finally, we've also got another type 1 diabetic, and here you'll see that she's been on the products most of her life. And so she's actually managing to control it quite well with food and a bare minimum of insulin, as she says. And she, in turn, as well, has benefited from that, in spite of being a well-controlled diabetic, and then found that she's reduced some of her insulin levels. So we are really excited, that we've had such fantastic results. But these are much more powerful when we get them from the users themselves. And so we really encourage you, to take note of the stories that people feed back to you, or your own personal story. And we really want you to send that in, because can you see what a benefit this is to others who in fact are seeing this for the first time, perhaps haven't even heard about the product, and now really want to try it because it makes a difference. That's part of our commitment to making sure that we are going to make the world a healthier and a happier place. So just to egg you on a little bit and just to encourage you, we've got a bit of a drive this next month and saying, come on, send in your pictures, send in your product stories, your favorite one, or that of your neighbor or friend or a family member. And we'll even reward you for that. So you could actually go into a draw and win a fantastic product hamper. So there are all the details. Just WhatsApp it to us or give us a voice message. But, you could see there it was very valuable to have people's names and a picture of them. It just makes it more authentic. So, please just send that in to us in the course of February. And we'd love to give you a fantastic product hamper. So that's what we've been doing and have over the last couple of months. And right now what we're doing in terms of product and influencing people's health is actually looking at the health of our children. And we've got this cute little promotion running right now where we've got a little NeoPal booklet and a little tracker. So we're saying, get your kids on track and let's help you keep them on track. And, this is a lovely little story you can read to if you've got a little youngster. You can read the story to them. But in actual fact, I think it's quite a good conversation opener. And it enables people to start addressing issues of what your kids should be eating without having a fight in the family. Let them actually find out from it through the influence of a story. And I think there are just different ways that we can actually encourage our kids to change some of their habits. Perhaps you have when you're talking about the NutriShake or you're talking about the bar, that you actually have them there and you actually taste them together. You have your stash of products and they have theirs. And so that way everybody starts to win and be positive about what they're doing. And of course, that wellness tracker enables them to constantly keep using the products, and they get familiar actually with the names of the products and start asking for them by name. And they start taking ownership of their health and their products. So quite good fun, I think, and a really nice little tool. That's really what it is, to help you open up the conversation. And so just to remind you what it is that we have made available and what we're doing, and all of this, of course, is in keeping with our policy and our mission of making everybody, including our children, healthier and happier. I think right now, boosting our immune system is, top of the list and very important for our kids as well. And so we've taken the basic products, which is NutriShake and Vita Squares, and we've layered it with VitaGuard because here come in the protectors, extra zinc, extra vitamin C, fruit and vegetable extract. So it makes a lot of sense. And all the peripheral items, the little booklet and the brochure and the shaker, once you buy the product, you get all that for free. So great to have our immunity booster. And then, of course, we've added the brain booster. And I know we've started off the academic year in a rather wobbly way. People don't even know if their kids are going to school, but whether they're in a formal classroom or in the classroom in your home, they are going to have an academic year of some sort. And so we want to make sure that they have a good one. And what we focused on here, in addition to the basics, are the omega-3 fatty acids. And we've now made a really nice little one that's easy for kids to swallow. Because this is a common gap right around the world. It's common probably in your own home amongst adults as well as the kids. And so we want to make sure that, we're using the research. There's so much research now to show that kids perhaps who are battling to read or maybe are not able to focus very well or perhaps a bit disruptive or overly impulsive, there's a lack of omega-3 in their diet. So this is a huge gap, and we're really intent on helping you fill it so that your children have the best chance. But of course, good idea to put the whole lot together. And so then you're going to have a really happy and healthy child. And we've really made a good sweetener for this one and added a totally free additional omega-3 so that for about 258 Rand, you're getting that for free, plus all the other things that's supporting tools. So we really encourage you to use this little NeoPels tool if you enjoy it. I think if you get into it, you'll have fun with it. And you'll start, connecting, even if it's online, or sending these posters and things onto your social media so that people get to hear about it. Very important, because, of course, we want our kids to reach their full potential. But I think, something that we should consider in achieving our mission is that I said if we really want to flatten that curve, because what did we see earlier in terms of diabetes? That over the next 25 years, their projection is that it's going to increase by 143% here on our continent. Well, in the next 25 years, some of your children are going to be in their 30s, maybe even approaching 40, depending what age they are now. They are going to be part of those statistics if we don't do something about their health now. And so that is actually what we're driving. We're making sure that we're going to make our children happier and healthier. So going forward, we're not only looking at their preparedness for immunity challenges and their academic or schooling achievements, we're setting them up right now when they're young so that they, going forward, will have a happier and a healthier life. And just a bit of a teaser, what's coming next? There's more things to come. So make sure that you keep Monday, the 22nd of February, at our usual webinar slot of 7 o'clock open, because we are going to be introducing yet another exciting product. One with a whole lot of NeoLife differences, always unique in the marketplace. Everybody needs it. Every cell needs it. So keep that date open, and we've got something very exciting to share with you. But I'm actually going to catch up with you a little bit later this afternoon and talk about some of the science behind the products, how it is that we will help you achieve our mission and how you will be able to go out and help people be healthier and happier. So I'll be speaking to you a little bit later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Liz. Wasn't that amazing? Liz just has this incredible ability to talk to people about product and make it so relevant and such an easy learning experience. And can you believe we are launching another product? I just think that is great news. The product launches are always exciting, but look back at the products that we have just launched, that Botanical Balance, to see those testimonies coming out, to know that we launch a product and it starts impacting people's lives immediately. And so Liz mentioned those testimonies. I just want to highlight that. If you have a testimony, if your family has a testimony, if one of your customers has a testimony, let's get those testimonies into our marketing team. If you don't have the details, just send it to your local DC and they will send it to our marketing team. But testimonies sell product. Testimonies help build believability in our company and our product. So let's, as a family, share our testimonies together. Okay, so we're going to be giving away some of that Botanical Balance.
Wow.
Excellent. And we're also going to be giving away another recently launched product, the Rejuvenating Cream. But to stand a chance to win one of these products, I need you to comment on your channel that you're watching on. I need you to comment with your favorite product. What is your favorite product? Let us know. And don't forget to include your ID number, your NeoLife ID number with your country code so we can get in touch with you. And in a little bit, we will be announcing our winners. Is that cool, Brandon?
Perfect.
Okay. So I think let's move into some incentives. NeoLife has launched some incredible 2021 incentives, and we spoke about them the other night, and there was a huge amount of excitement. We're going to touch on them again today because these incentives have one goal and one goal only. These incentives are designed to help you build your business and help you succeed. Now, I just want to clarify where these incentives fit in. Our key incentive, our most lucrative incentive, is the NeoLife marketing plan. When you start as a distributor, you move to manager, senior manager, director. Now, we'll talk about director in a little bit because director is the most important position in our company. If you're not yet a director, you want to get to director as soon as possible. From director, you step up into to a Sapphire director, world team, 1, 2, 3 Ruby. Then onto our president's team, 4 Ruby, 5 Ruby, and then into the diamonds. That is what we call our compensation plan. And that compensation plan will give you exponential earnings, increase in your earnings as you walk through that compensation plan. Now, the incentives are just a little cherry on the top. What are these incentives designed to do? These incentives are designed to help give you direction as to what you got to do, the activities that you got to be doing. These incentives are designed to help you stretch and do a little bit extra, because we know nobody ever achieved any kind of success by doing the bare minimum. Not in NeoLife, not in any other company or business. So these incentives are designed to help you do that little bit extra and help you get that much closer and take your next step. And what Brandon is going to do is Brandon is going to not do incentive training, but he's going to walk you through the incentives that are available at every step in the compensation plan, what you have to do to achieve them, but more importantly, what do you get? Because when you achieve these incentives, we are going to add some cash or some travel lifestyle benefits to you and your business. So Brandon, let's take a look.
Hey, Drew, that was fantastic. It's good. Well, in terms of the incentives, this is a part that I get really, really excited about. The incentives are the cherry on top. They're the cremora. We reward distributors for doing more than the minimum requirement. Our compensation plan, as Drew has mentioned, alone is the greatest incentive at NeoLife. For 2021, we have amazing incentive that rewards every level handsomely. Incentives for sponsoring, consistency, and stepping up. Qualifying senior manager incentives, managers and directors and so forth. Just starting with the incentives, most of the people, they will wonder where do they find all of this information or the incentives. On your back office, you will find all of the flyers that are needed for you to be able to understand the incentives. So when I talk about these incentives, go on your back office and find out more how you can qualify for each and every of these incentives. Now, the one that I'm really, really excited about is the Fast Start to Director, because we want to make or help many people to step up and become directors. As Drew has mentioned already, director is a position which each and every distributor should strive to get to, because when you get to directors, there are so many benefits that you will get at that level. As a Fast Start Director, how do you qualify for that incentive? So this is open to all the new distributors. When I say all new distributors, if you join in today or yesterday, you can also start and become part of the Fast Start to Director. You open up your window by doing 250 points. And when we talk about the Fast Start to Director, we want to help as many people to get to the director level and start earning and qualifying for all the director benefits. And one of them is getting the 25% sales volume bonus, or also qualifying for the leadership development bonus, qualifying for incentives, travel incentives, special travel incentives. And more importantly, when you get to a director level, you also have an opportunity to be recognized at the convention. But there are so many other more incentives and benefits that we've got for directors. Do you want to say something about the Fast Start?
Let's just drop anchor here for a second, because I believe this Fast Start to Director incentive is going to play a vital role in 2021. Okay, so just to give you some background, why did we introduce this incentive? We know that, as we said, director is the most important position in this company. Maximize your sales volume bonus, be eligible for your leadership development bonus, qualify to, puts you in position to qualify to attend something like leadership school, which has been a springboard for success in our business. But it's so much more. As a NeoLife distributor, when somebody joins your business as a customer, what is your responsibility? Your responsibility is to ensure that they achieve their health goals. Okay, whatever those goals might be. Now, what happens if somebody becomes a distributor in your organization because they have financial goals or challenges that they want to overcome or achieve? What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is to help them make money, is to help them achieve their goal, the reason why they started their business, and that is why we have introduced this Fast Start to Director program. If you have anybody in your business who has joined to make money or build a business, you've got to be talking to them about this Fast Start program. Okay. Now, this Fast Start program was only available to new distributors in the first 3 months, right? But now we have made a special 2021 plan for all distributors, managers, and senior managers. Anybody who is not yet a director, you have the months of January, February, or March to open your Fast Start to Director window. Okay, you got January, February, or March to open your Fast Start to Director window. We're not going to go into a training session. We'll be doing a training session on this on Wednesday night where we'll share the details with you in a moment. But I just want to highlight that Fast Start to Director incentive. It is that important.
You know, Drew, it is a very important position to become a director. And I think every distributor, manager, and senior manager should be part of this Fast Start to Director and qualify. Because when you qualify for and become a director, there are so many other incentives that you are opening up yourself to. But before I get to those incentives, as you are on your way to becoming a director, you become a senior manager or a qualified senior manager. As a qualified senior manager, there are incentives for you whereby you can get free products for the value of about 970 Rand that will come your way each and every month if you just do the normal things that you're supposed to be doing, qualifying a title and sharing this opportunity with other people. So, let me share some exciting things here. When you step up and you qualify and you stay qualified as a director, you become an Emerald Director. When you become an Emerald Director, there are incentives for Emerald Directors, World Team, and President's Team members, which we call the consistency incentive. This incentive, I've seen so many distributors, directors qualifying for this on a monthly basis, and it's exciting to see that people are making extra money just from the incentives. Now, talking about this incentives, the consistency incentive for Emerald Directors, World Team, and President's Team members, this is the amount of money that we paid out last year in 2020, 145,000 Rand to all those people who were qualifying a title consistently at Emerald Director, World Team, and President's Team members. And it's simple. You just qualify for this incentive. It's either if you're an Emerald Director, you'll be getting 1,000 Rand, or if you're a World Team or President's Team member, you'll be getting an extra 1,500 every month. This is exciting for me. So stay qualified as an Emerald Director. There's so much money to make. As an Emerald Director, in a year, in 12 months, you could earn yourself more than 18,000 Rand on this incentive. As a President's Team member or World Team member, you can earn yourself about 27,000 on this incentive. That is exciting. Do you want to say something, Drew, when it comes to this part?
Sure. Well, these incentives, what I really want our distributors to, what is our expectation? Our expectation is that you get to know what incentives are available to you. We have an incentive guide which you can download from your back office. So know if you're a senior manager, know what incentive is available to you. If you're a director, know what incentives are available to you, and then get to understand what you have to do to achieve that incentive. Okay? If you don't understand it from the guide, then you can log on to our YouTube channel, NeoLife South Africa, and we have a video where Brandon did an amazing training that he trained you on each incentive and what you had to do. And if you still don't understand, reach up to your upline sponsor, upline director, or World Team or President's team leader and say, hey, I want to achieve this incentive. What do I need to do to get there?
Perfect. And what I like about incentives, what is important is this: if you're a World Team member or even a director, help your team to qualify for these incentives. Automatically, when you're helping more people in your team to qualify for these incentives, guess what's going to happen? You're going to qualify for these incentives as well. And here's another exciting part. When you grow your business and you step up, you get what we call a step-up bonus. And step-up bonus is for people who are stepping up from director to Sapphire directors, or 1 Ruby or 2 Ruby, or any of the World Team and President's Team levels. Now, this is the amount of money that we have paid out last year for step-up bonuses. This is just amazing. 117,000 rand that we paid out to all of those World Team members who stepped up last year. And guess what, guys? If you have recently stepped up to Sapphire Director, you can also qualify for these incentives by just maintaining your title, qualifying consistently. And I must tell you, you know what? If you are a new director this year, qualify, step up, and become a One Ruby, a Sapphire Director, or even further that, and become a President's Team member. It is possible. Guess what? You can make lots and lots of money by just stepping up. And remember, we also have the Emerald Director and World Team and President's Team Consistency Incentive. We also have other incentives as well. So this is truly, truly amazing. And I get excited when we talk about the incentives.
I think incentives give us the great opportunity to recognize success. And as a company, we recognize success whenever we get a chance. Our leaders, our NeoLife leaders, I know they recognize success in their teams whenever they get a chance. Why do we recognize success? Because when we succeed as a company, that is great. Because you know what that means? That means that our distributors, are succeeding out in the field, out in your communities. And when our distributors are succeeding, do you know why that is exciting? You are succeeding because you are empowering other people to better health, better finances. That is how the circle of success works in NeoLife, and we love to celebrate that. We love to recognize that success.
Definitely. You know what is exciting as well, Drew? You know, with all of these incentives, there are other incentives that we're not going to go into, but it opens you up to traveling, the lifestyle, all the Diamond Director bonuses when you become a President's Team member, cash bonuses. But, you know, we have an event which I believe is a very, very important event for us, which is our convention, and we're going to be celebrating 50 years, and we have incentives based on the convention, and this is on sponsoring development, step up, consistency, and we're going to, you know what, we're going to be recognizing people at the convention, and we have the top 10 recognitions, and when you are part of that recognition, the top 10, everybody in the top 10 qualifies for or get a certificate. Number one gets a beautiful trophy. Plus, you get a 2-day weekend away with your family, husband and wife. If you have kids, you can go with them as well. And it is just exciting. And this year and last year, we've seen some people who have taken opportunity to travel because of this incentive. And you know what? All these incentives, as you qualify for one, you might be qualifying for the other one. Or what you just basically need to do, you just need to do the requirements that we say that you need to do each and every the top 10. And I know that you've seen some exciting things at that consistency dinner, you know, because that is another part of the incentive.
Absolutely.
I remember a year ago, we had a qualified senior manager who was in the top 10, and he was invited to the President's Team dinner, the Consistency President's Team dinner, the night before the convention. That is possible. You too, if you join in today, you can also get invited if you do what is required. Drew, do you want to say anything?
Fantastic. No. Well, we got some amazing events. Have you got more incentives you're going to talk about?
Well, you know what? Let's leave it here. Let's get our distributors to go and find out more about these incentives on the back office and on the videos that we've already done previously.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put some of the responsibility onto you to investigate the incentives, find out what you can do with them. Now let's just shift across to events, because we really provide you, these incentives are to help you grow your business, and we provide a lot of events from a company point of view. I know our leaders from a team point of view also provide you with a lot of events which are designed to train and support you and help you find new customers, help you find new distributors. And so what are some of the events coming up? You don't have to write this down. This is going to be sent out to everybody on our WhatsApp groups. It will be emailed out to you next week. It will be sent to your leaders to distribute to their teams. But there's just a couple of events I want to highlight that are coming up in February. And the first event is on February the 3rd, the 3rd of February, which is this Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're going to be digging a little bit further into the Fast Start to Director program. Mm-hmm. We're going to be sharing what are the skills that you need to develop to succeed in this business. We know everybody in this business has access to the same product line. Everybody in this business has access to the same compensation plan. Why do some people succeed beyond their wildest dreams and others don't? It's because the people that succeed have learned these skills that are required to succeed in NeoLife. And we're going to be on those skills on Wednesday, the 3rd of February, 7 p.m. The link will be on the flyer that we send out to you. The other event coming up on the 17th of February. This is a big one. This is a qualified senior manager event. It's not an open event. You have to qualify to attend this event. What do you need to do to qualify? In the month of January, this month, so you have until the end of, when's the month end? On Tuesday. You have until the end of Tuesday to achieve this, to qualify as a senior manager with minimum 100 points in your name and 1,000 points in your team. Okay, as a qualified senior manager, you'll automatically get an invitation and be sent the link to this event. We have a guest speaker, Mr. Rico Brown, who will be training. The purpose of this event is to take you from senior manager and get you to director. That's the sole purpose and focus of this event. So if you want to be a director, make sure you qualify to attend this event. Now we have opened up a special qualification to all of our managers and distributors on the call. If in January, so by the end of Tuesday, you become a manager, how do you do that? You do 250 personal points in your name, or you do 100 points personally with a qualified PV of 500 points, plus you need to sponsor at least one person personally. Wow. So become a manager and personally sponsor one person. We will give you a special invitation to this qualified senior manager event with Rico Brown. And then the final event coming up on the 24th of February is we are, on a monthly basis, we will be providing our distributors with technology training, and you're going to see the details to that on the flyer.
Good. You know, what is exciting about these events, because this is where you acquire your skills and knowledge and everything that you need to do. But remember, you don't just go and attend one event and then you know everything. Each and every event is important. Whatever level you are at, you need to attend these events. And most importantly, tell your team about these events so that they can also get the skills. And you know what? When you get all those skills, you can take your business to the next level.
For sure. You know, the events, you can never be taught everything in one session or even 10. In this business, you had to have a heart of learning. Never stop learning, never stop growing. That's why we say never miss an event. And so let's hear from some people who have used the events over the last year, whether it's our company events or their team events. They've used the events, they've used our incentives, and they've used the compensation plan to achieve incredible success. And we reached out to them and we said, hey, just send us a quick video of what did you do? Who shall we start with?
Yeah, you know, there's a gentleman that recently, not long ago, started the business. No hope, no dreams, no goals, no nothing.
Wow.
And you know what? And this opportunity came their way. And when it came their way, there were so many people who were just against him doing this business. And when he started, you know, he's told himself that he's going to try this business. And guess what it has done? It has done wonders for him. I mean, the family that were saying no to this business, he's paying rent, he's paying school fees for the siblings.
He's generous.
He's, you know what, he is so happy. And you know what, he is changing people's lives in the process. And let's hear from Maxwell.
Hello everyone, I'm Maxwell Chiwaya. I'm 30 years old. I'm an Emerald director in the NeoLife business, but my qualifications, I have done computer science, but after finishing my school, I didn't have any job. I decided to work part-time at a tailoring shop where I was not interested with my income. Someone showed me the NeoLife opportunity. After showing me the NeoLife opportunity, that's when I decided to join, because I believe that NeoLife will change my life. So when I joined, I didn't even have money to join. I just borrowed money from my sponsor. Then I got started. I started working hard, believing that one day it will work. So the time I believed in the business, it's when I qualified to become a qualified senior manager. So I earned about 2.6, which made me believe that one day I'm gonna earn a lot. So continue doing the business. On the way, I failed. The whole organization split head. I didn't know where to start, but my upline pushed me to work even more hard. So we relocated. We went to Hanzi, where I worked very hard. In 2 months, I stepped up. I became a director. I was very, very excited with the bonus I earned. It was so much. I have never earned such before. So it kept me working to sponsor more people, to work with more people so that they also can start earning some money. So when I became an Emerald director, the money doubled. So I was very excited, kept on working hard. Just before the end of last year, I produced 2 directors. It was so fun. The bonus was very, very huge. I was even speechless about. So it kept me believing in NeoLife because, hey, I've never thought I'll earn that money before. So I'm even working so hard with them even today. So what I would like to encourage the people is that NeoLife business works. It took me from nobody to somebody. I was able to support my family with pay school fees, rentals, and buy groceries for them. So it's a wow for me because of NeoLife opportunity. When you start the business, do not doubt the business. Keep on sharing, because the more you share, the more you earn. You get paid from helping other people. I would like to thank you for giving me a chance to share my story. I give all the glory to God. Thank you.
Isn't that just the most awesome story?
Unbelievable.
Listening to Maxwell's story, and that's not the first time I'm hearing it, it is believable. I listen to that and I think, if it can happen for Maxwell, why not you? And something that Maxwell said that's jumped out to me, he said, you make money by helping other people. Do you know Maxwell has developed 2 other directors? So not only is he succeeding, he has helped 2 other people change their life through this opportunity. Maxwell has qualified for our leadership school. Maxwell is about to take a step onto the world team, where there will be lifestyle and travel involved. So Maxwell, great job. Keep doing what you're doing. We see big things happening for you throughout the rest of the year and beyond. The next person we're going to hear from is Shelley. Shelley is based down in Port Elizabeth. She's still fairly new to this NeoLife family. Her journey is just really beginning. Yet she took her step onto the world team. She became a Sapphire director last year in 2020. She has developed 2 other Emerald directors in her journey. Get this, her business increased by 198% over the last 12 months. Wow. 198% over the last 12 months. Her sponsoring increased by 138% in 12 months. She more than doubled her income. That's interesting. In a pandemic where everyone is supposed to be making less money, she more than doubled her income, and she has such a passion and heart for this business, for her team, for her customers. Let's hear from Shelley Hansen-Conyers.
Before NeoLife, I ran my own business for about 13 years. The hours were very long and the rewards were very small. My health was severely compromised, so poor health and financially struggling, it just was not a good place to be. I was really skeptical when I was first introduced to NeoLife from a product point of view, as I have tried thousands of products on the market through the years without having any results whatsoever. And then from the business side of things, I did have the mindset of network marketing being a pyramid scheme. So it did concern me in the beginning. And the sales part of it really scared me. I am not a natural salesperson. I really battled with getting my head around that, thinking I would never be able to sell a single thing to anybody. NeoLife has not only given me my health back after 20 long years of struggling, but it started giving me financial freedom as well. Last year, 2020, I had phenomenal growth in my business. When lockdown was implemented, my team and myself had the best month we had ever had, which was kind of bittersweet, as it was hard to see so many people out there struggling and businesses struggling, and our business was just going from strength to strength. And once you see that growth in your business, you want to maintain that and improve on it. I think it gave us believability in ourselves and that we are so capable of growth. My team grew steadily in 2020. We had a lot of new sign-ups, a lot of new step-ups. It was a really exciting time to watch my team develop and grow and step up. It was really very, very rewarding for me. I think what helped me grow my business, I became more focused, especially in lockdown, and I had more time to become more focused. I kept in touch with my customers a lot more. I communicated with my team a lot more, and I stepped out of my comfort zone a lot more. We did a couple of business trips at the end of last year. I find that presentations are so powerful, and it is such a fantastic way to grow your business. And that was really stepping out of my comfort zone. But once you've done it, it really is a great achievement, and it really makes you feel good. And lastly, believe. Believe in yourself, believe in the business, and you can really achieve anything if you believe. We have amazing product. We have an amazing business plan. Believe it, and you will achieve great things.
Well, thank you very much, Shirley. That is a wonderful and incredible story. And you know what? You know, when I was listening to Shirley talking about working with the team, making sure that, you know, you support your team and grow your team, it just reminds me of the next speaker, what she said in one of our conventions. She said, if you want to go fast, you must go alone. But if you want to go far, you must go with your team, with a group of people around you. And this is what has happened with her. Her business has grown, has shown so much growth in the last year. So many people have taken their steps. She's got a business all over Southern Africa. And you know what? She became agile when people were finding challenges, when people were finding reasons not to do the business. And what I can tell you is this. When you stand still, you become stagnant and you rot. And when you rot, guess what? You die. You're dead. Nobody is going to know about you. But when you keep on moving, keep on going, this is what will happen. Your team will grow and you will achieve more things. And she started moving with her team and growing and showing them the way and leading by example in that process. So many people qualified and took their steps, and her business has moved from the old ways of doing things to the new ways of doing things. And it gives me pleasure to welcome our next speaker to share his testimony, his story. And she's a diamond director in our business, and that is none other than Florence Matumbu.
Hi everyone, my name is Florence Matumbu. I started this business way back when I was a school teacher. The business came across us and we decided to start. When we started the business, we didn't know about anything, but we had to learn. And then in this business, they taught us 3 things that we need to do consistently, that we have been doing for all these years. Even now, we're still doing it. Use the product, share the product, and share the opportunity. We started to use the products, we benefited, we shared the opportunity with other people, and then we built a business, and we continue to do the same. And when you are in this business, you must be ready for any change. You adapt to new change all the time. When we started, we had to carry cash, lots of cash to the company. And it was so difficult, driving, carrying cash, whether you come from anywhere, you have to carry the cash to the company. And then new method of payment was introduced. We deposited the money in the bank, and they started, facts. We had to learn about the facts. We didn't know what was the facts, but we had to learn about it. And then it happened that as we're used to facts, lockdown came, 2020. In 2020, we all know about the lockdown. What happened is that we had to adapt again to something new. The Zoom, the social media, where we now have to change the way we used to do business. Now we have to do business on WhatsApp, on Zoom, on Facebook, Twitter, you name them. There are so many. And we had to learn how to use them. We had to learn how we can use this social media to build our business. And I just want to tell you, in 2020, it was not a good year, but it was the best to us. The past 2 years, 2018 and 2019, it was not good for us at all. And the business was not growing. Even though we're going to people, we were having meetings, nothing grew. But in 2020, because of this new system of doing business on Zoom, on WhatsApp, as I've said, it has changed my business. We had even world team members, in 3 of them in 2020, of which in 2019 we didn't have any, and 2018 there was no world team in 2 years. So this method of doing business now is the best. Just adapt yourself to it. Learn. It doesn't end to learn. We keep learning until to our grave. So I thank you very much. I hope this is going to help you to change in 2021. Thank you.
What an incredible story that is. All
Definitely.
3 of those stories are just so full of passion and so full of meaning. And just thank you, Flory. I want to thank all of our president's team members, our diamond directors, just for your incredible contribution you make to this NeoLife family, for sharing unselfishly to all distributors in your team and out of your team, because you have a heart to see people succeed. So thank you to all of you. So Brandon, let's look at who won some product.
Yeah, this is exciting. I see names from all around Southern Africa. And the first person who's getting themselves a wonderful pack or hamper, that is Samantha Human from South Africa. Congratulations, well done.
Fantastic.
Botswana, I know this name. Shedunyaza, well done, congratulations. And both of them, they like the NeoLife Shake. Well done to them. And then from Eswatini, Lucia Nambinde. Lucia from Eswatini, she's based in Mozambique, and her favorite products is the Daily Vitality Pack. Well done. From Namibia, we've got Christopher Karombo. Christopher Karombo, your favorite product, that is the Pro Vitality. And then to the Mountain Kingdom, Paulina Morema, her favorite product is also the Pro Vitality. And guess what? Guys, you will be getting your products at your nearest DC, and we'll make sure that we make contact with you next week to make sure that you do get your products as soon as possible. So congratulations to each and every one of you.
Fantastic, guys. Great. Your products will be with you shortly. We're going to head into a product session right now. We've asked Liz to start touching on the science behind the NeoLife nutrition. And we're talking about that for a very specific reason. There's this nutrition space. It's a growing industry right now. In the USA, some of you might have heard the stat, 78% of adults are taking a supplement. In South Africa, that number sits at about 48%. So the exciting thing for a NeoLife distributor is we've got that area of growth from 48% to 78 and beyond over the next few years. And so you are in the right place. You are in a place of growth. But it's important for you to understand why NeoLife Nutrition. If people are already buying products, why should they buy your product over something else? And a lot of that has to do with your story behind the product and the science that goes into our product that makes our product unique and different to what else is out there on the market. So let's take it away, Liz. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Product Director for Africa, Liz Geertz.
Thank you, Drew. I mentioned that I was going to come back and have a chat to you about what goes on behind the scenes and what makes our products so unique. And of course, I always need to highlight our Scientific Advisory Board, because that is really one of our biggest unique features. And also to show you what a big part they actually play in helping us realize our goals, achieve the mission that we've set for ourselves. So just to remind you of who they are and who works for you. And in fact, they work for all of us. And they are accessible and people who make a huge difference. You know, we were the first company in the industry to actually have a scientific advisory board. And Dr. Arthur First was actually the founding member. And I want to just talk a little bit about him because he's a very highly regarded scientist and one of the great minds of the 20th century. He sadly passed on now, but a very highly regarded person in terms of being a toxicologist. He is a pharmacologist and an avid cancer researcher way back, in the 1950s. And in fact, he was very instrumental in developing the concept of converting to an oral chemotherapeutic agent rather than the traditional delivery methods of delivering the chemotherapeutic drugs. So that was, and of course today that is a choice that people make and can make in terms of chemotherapy. So he was involved in that. So as I say, one of the great minds of the 20th century. But on his scientific journey, he began to realize that in fact, perhaps he would prefer to start looking at promoting health and preventing disease rather than constantly trying to treat the disease. And so that's really where his path and NeoLife's path actually crossed. But he was only prepared to get involved in that kind of aspect and more of a commercial venture, provided it was pursued as a route and everything was based in science. So basically the destiny of NeoLife products was turned over to science. And we've continued along that path very successfully ever since. Now, John Miller is in fact the longest serving member of the Scientific Advisory Board, and of course he knew Arthur First very well. And today he is the director of the Scientific Advisory Board, and he basically steers the ship, if you like. He ensures that we don't deviate from that commitment. Well, in fact, as a company, we're so steeped in science and scientific methods of doing things that it's almost not possible to deviate from the scientific method. And using science is really what our scientists and our Scientific Advisory Board do the best. Because they develop products that are so fundamental to how our biochemistry actually works that the need for these products and the nutrients that they deliver never goes away. And as John Miller says, the things we do are sustainable. I mean, let's just look back, just earlier this afternoon we were talking about botanical balance. It works with our biochemistry. The fact of the matter is it works. Why would we discard it? So the need for it is never going to go away. And I have a huge amount of respect for John Miller. He is so passionate about what he does. He's so committed to excellence and so intent on making sure that NeoLife is always the best. And for him, every problem has a solution. If it's a technology or a scientific process that doesn't exist and we want to use something like that because we want to develop a new product, well then, we go out and we develop it ourselves. And that's his kind of, everything is a can-do attitude. Now, in terms of what we do, I think I've highlighted that. What is it that we don't do? What does our scientific board don't do? Well, we don't follow trends. And we don't throw a whole lot of hype out there at people. And if you listen to some of the comments from Dr. Arthur First, and many of you have actually met Arthur First, he even visited South Africa a few times. And I remember one of the things he said, and this is a very eminent scientist, he said, "We don't copy, we innovate. We start from scratch. And sometimes that takes years, but that's what we do." So, when you hear the latest trend or the word miracle or magic, or you know those ones where people tell you there's this one plant or one fruit that is grown in some very remote little village in the corner of the planet, and that's the best thing and the only thing you need for human health, run a mile. Apart from it not making scientific sense, I mean, why do we have nature with this abundant trees hanging with fruit, things that we need to eat and that we thrive on as a human body? And yet we're being told there is one product, one fruit, one food that's going to do it all. So it doesn't only not make scientific sense, it doesn't make common sense. So keep running. We coexist with nature. That's where our food comes from. So we embrace nature's variety. And we investigate nature. We use nature as blueprint. We respect it. But the interesting thing is, things that are natural and that grow in nature are not necessarily part of the human food chain. And that's a very important distinction that I think you should always remember to remind your customers about. And especially with science as it is today, I mean, it's an investigative tool. So we can go and investigate some sort of algae or some tree bark somewhere and have a look and see, that maybe there is something that is similar to a food that we eat. But the most important thing is that we don't typically eat that food. So it is not part of the human food chain. I mean, the reason why we're in half the trouble we are from a health point of view is that we are deviating from the human food chain. And the food industry is putting in preservatives and colorants and flavorants and things that aren't part of our natural human food chain. And that's exactly what we're trying to combat. So if we're not followers of trends and we don't make Me Too kind of products, well, then where do we fit in? At the leading edge, ahead of the curve. And that is where NeoLife thrives. That means that when we start planning and investigating, we do that well ahead of the topics that people might be talking about today. So, we've talked about botanical balance, and we're wowed by it, and how it works with our biochemistry, and how innovative it is, and what a difference it's going to make. But as far as the Scientific Advisory Board is concerned, well, that's a done and dusted and good job. We're looking 10 years ahead. That's where we are in terms of our curve. And of course, as a company, just to show you yet, not just from the science, but our commitment to our mission of ending the trend of poor health is that we, and the marketing side as well as the scientific side, recognize that we have to empower, we have to enable people who use our products and who want to share our products. And so we've created a fantastic tool, our NeoLife University, where you get to hear from our scientists. And in fact, you even get to hear from some of the members of what we call our global science network. Because the sort of company we are and the sort of products we make, we network with a huge variety of different scientists and specialists. And you will get to hear from them. And I've just put up there on the screen the various modules that we have, and some of them you've already participated, and if you haven't, I really encourage you to do that, because it's going to enable you to be so much more effective in helping us and yourself make the world a healthier and happier place. And those at the top of the screen are just showing you that we have them already. We've just introduced digestive health, and so that is one that you can participate in. And we're not just talking about products here. We're actually encouraging people to understand how their heart works, how their joints work, how their digestive system works. It's not just about selling product. We're actually enabling people to understand why it is that people need products. And then, of course, we've got, if people want to use skincare, people want to use products, if they're using good nutrition, they want to use good skincare, things that are compatible with the human body. So we have a wonderful module on organic skincare. And also, if you're just wondering sometimes when you have that little bottle of product sitting on your table, how it is that you got all that food and stuff into that little capsule or tablet and that you're not going to take from the table. So we've got a really interesting module called Farm to Table, basically, and it actually shows you the whole pathway of all those ingredients that are in that little capsule or tablet that you're going to swallow with your breakfast, and how it got there, and what it is we do to make sure that it's the very best you can possibly get. And of course, if you want to learn more about the science that I've been talking about and the scientists, well, we have a module for that too. And you'll see that we've got some, we're carrying on, we're developing this all the time. We're really intent on making sure people are empowered and enabled and uplifted so that they can go out and help other people. So we're going to be talking about protein shortly. What is it? How do we use it? How much do I need? Who do I recommend it to? Is it important? All those things, you're going to get that information from our NeoLife University. So I think you can tell that our mission is not just words on a page to make you feel warm and fuzzy, but a bold and real possibility, because we're serious and committed. And we encourage you to be bold, serious, and committed, and to do what you have to do to make the world a healthier and happier place. On that note, I'd like to introduce to you someone who's been a distributor with NeoLife for some 47 years. A true example of being bold, serious, and committed. And because she didn't have the advantage of being able to fall back on all the history and the scientific excellence that we've talked about today, but she went ahead anyway. And the NeoLife products have been part of her family over 4 generations. They've had advantage of our scientific prowess and our good products. 4 generations of her family have benefited from NeoLife products. So she truly is a product of the product. So let's listen to what Nola McDermott has to say and has to share with us about her commitment to making the world a healthier and a happier place.
47 years ago, Rory came home and said a client had asked him if he would like to double his income. It sounded crazy, but we took a look at it because we were living a life of frustration, not being able to achieve our dreams. I also wanted to start a family and be able to work from home and definitely not be in the crazy corporate world. What we saw that evening took us completely out of our comfort zone with doubt. We were skeptical, and many excuses why we shouldn't do it crept into our minds. Change can be scary, but we had a desire for a better life. And all those years ago, there were no stories about success stories or product knowledge at all. But we look 47 years later, and because we had the courage to say yes, we were financially free at an early age. We live in our dream home on the beach. We have been able to travel to many parts of the world, often with our family. We've lived a life of purpose and meaning, a life of helping other families find their courage, find their way to improve their lives, and all because of our NeoLife business. It has been and is still an incredible journey for us in many, many ways. But I've been asked to speak about how the products have impacted on us as a family over these decades. Our health is 100%, and last year we decided that maybe we just need to get to know a doctor in case we ever need him at any stage. And so we found one and had all the routine checks, etc. And his comment was, most 40-year-olds would give anything for your reading. And so that gave us tremendous courage to keep going, and we brought up our 2 NeoLife children as well, taking the NeoLife nutrition on a daily basis. And I can't ever remember taking them to a doctor because they were ill. And my mother was my first customer. She remained one until she passed away at 94, never having to have chronic medication, flu injections, or anything that goes with aging. I now have 4 grandchildren, the eldest being 13 years old and the youngest being 3 months old. Little baby Nicholas was born, an incredibly healthy baby, to a 44-year-old daughter of mine. She'd waited 20 years for her first baby, and she took a wide range of NeoLife products throughout her pregnancy, which was a very successful, healthy and happy pregnancy. With no issues at all. Life goes on now with, in the true NeoLife way, with the baby getting all its complete nutrition from mother. But because of our trust in the dedicated NeoLife scientists, people we've grown to know and really respect over the years, our belief through results and seeing friends and strangers also experiencing good health from the NeoLife products, even if they just take 1 or 2, there is a benefit. It makes me look back on the 47 years and realize that all our futures are shaped by decisions we make, good or bad. I am so forever grateful for the honesty and sincerity that comes with the NeoLife products. And I encourage everyone who hears this testimony to take charge of their own health by making good food choices and using the NeoLife range of nutritional products to plug dietary gaps. It sure does work.
Wow, thank you very much, Nola. Thank you very much again, Liz, for a wonderful session that you've shared there. It's incredible. 47 years in the business and 4 generations later, and she's still going strong. Wonderful. Well, you know what? We're going to be giving away some cash now. This money is going to be loaded onto your account sheet, so you'll be able to access this money on Monday so that you can buy yourself some products. I'm not sure what is it that you're going to buy, but I'm sure you're going to buy one of your favorite products. So here are some of the winners who have just shared some stories on our Facebook and Zoom account. And the first person, wow, isn't this exciting? All the way from KwaZulu-Natal, this is Dr. Eseza Nambasi, getting yourself 500 Rand loaded onto your account. And then is Samgilsiwe Sopazi, also getting themselves some 500 Rand, good money there, all the way from Free State. This is Christian Greiling, all the way from Welkom. And then we also got Evelyn Mabaso. Well done, congratulations. And then Gisela Mateis, also getting yourself 500 Rand all the way from Eswatini. That will be 500 Emalangeni. And then crossing the border to Namibia, the land of the brave. And that is Happy Mwemba. Happy Mwemba, congratulations. And all the winners, you've got yourself 500 Rand that will be loaded onto your account sheet. It is available on Monday for you to use over month end. So congratulations. So what's up, Drew?
Fantastic, Brandon. Well done, team. For those of you who won product and won cash, great. I get the privilege and honor of inviting up our keynote speaker. Before I do that, we are going to be doing a Q&A session after his session. So if you have questions you'd like to ask Vusi, please make sure you post them in one of the chats on whatever channel you're watching on. And time permitting, we're going to get to as many of those questions as we possibly can. Vusi, he is a world-renowned entrepreneur and public speaker. He's a dragon and investor on Dragon's Den. I've been following Vusi online for some time now, and what really attracted me to him was he doesn't just talk business, he lives it. He has a very good understanding of entrepreneurship, the highs, the lows, and the small margins that cause people to succeed. He has a heart for Africa. He has a heart to see the people on this continent prosper. And Vusi, it's fantastic to have you with us. Take away, my friend.
Please welcome world-renowned public speaker and entrepreneur, Vusi Thembekwayo.
Hello, everybody. We're having a little. I want to make sure I'm in shot all the time. So let me see. If I go here, that's perfect. And if I'm all right, okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having had me here, Drew and the team. I've come quite a long way, actually, with what is, as is the consumer name now, NeoLife. I remember if we're in 2021. Holy smokes. I just said that out loud. 2021, that's how far we are. But I remember speaking at a GNLD conference in Uganda in 2008, I want to say. And then a GNLD conference in Kenya in 2009. So it's been quite a journey. I've got a couple of thoughts and ideas I'd like to share with you. Let me just very quickly up front give you a couple of disclaimers in terms of my style. First, I'm going to tell you how it is, not how you'd like for it to be. So there are some things I'm going to say which I'm almost sure you're going to find your back up against the wall. That's good, that's important, because it means we're listening, we're growing, and we're developing each other. Second, my approach is to remove as much theory as possible in everything I share. So what I look for is the science, not the theory. So my expectation here today and my anticipation is that I'm going to share with you the science about what we know. And the science about what exactly? My area of expertise, which I've honed over the past 20 years, say, has been trying to figure out how do you make step changes in your performance. That's it. If you're performing here, how do you get here? And whatever here is for you is here for you. And how do you make this leap, this jump to the next level of performance? Because if you think about it, that's all we're trying to do, all of us. Whether you're the CEO of a large listed company on the JSE, the most capitalized, deepest liquid capital markets in the continent, or you're somebody who's a direct selling agent, we're all trying to do the same thing. Move for performance from here to here. And so the question is, how? How do you actually do that? So quickly about myself, just an introduction. The image you see on screen is mom and dad. Mom and dad were born in the year 1955. They met in 1965. They were 10 when they met. Just for purpose of clarity, the image is not a picture of mom and dad at 10. It's just a picture of mom and dad that I like. There's somebody watching this going, hey, look a bit old for 10 years old, eh? It's not a picture of them at 10. I come from Benoni, which is actually not too far from where we are. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the East Rand. It's called the home of heroes. This is me as a young man winning the world championship in public speaking for the first time. I was 17 at the time. The two ladies next to me, Tarquin Phillips and Yasmin Mutara, were my sparring partners. So public speaking is a lot like boxing. You get sparring partners who prep you for competition. I won it first at 17, second at 22, set the world record at 22. My world record still stands. All this just to tell you that I'm a 2-time world champion public speaker, or, as Drew said, I have to mention, I'm as good as they say I am. Good. Now that that's done, let's go to what it is I want to share with you. This idea that what got you here won't get you there. Now, we all have a set of beliefs, techniques, tactics, ideologies, and how we do things that get us to a point in time. Then the environment we're in changes. COVID happens. The market contracts. Or, as is the case with your business, the market gets one hell of a lot more competitive. And why does it get more competitive? Because it's lucrative. It's incredibly lucrative. First, diet, nutrition, and looking good is actually a part of people's lingua franca now. Accelerated in part by that social media platform called Instagram. And all the ladies in watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I do this. Why do all women, have you seen that? You guys all do that thing where you like do this with your foot and then, whatever it is, please stop doing it. But accelerated in part by that thing called Instagram, your environment and your market has become incredibly competitive. Incredibly competitive. In the middle of all of this, if you haven't caught it, the DSASA has now gone to the regulators and asked that you've got to get the scammer artists and the scammer businesses out of the game. I think that's a fundamental part of how we accelerate the direct selling association and the direct selling industry going forward. The only point I'm trying to make is this. Scammers only go where there's a return, which means your market has become incredibly lucrative. So what next do I want to share with you? Well, what I'm going to try and do is just give you a couple of tips around how you do things if you want to make the shift and change. These are the things I do every day, so I'm talking about stuff that I know actually works. The first is, let's talk a bit about how you lead. Then I want to talk a bit about how you create a culture of performance in your own business. And it's so important because ultimately, as a direct selling distributor, here's what that means. It means that you work and achieve success through other people. So very important. Skip the products. I want to talk a bit about enablers, but first where I want to start is this idea of context. So let me introduce you to the only woman for whom I would leave my wife. This is she, Serena Williams. My wife knows this. It's not a surprise to her. We've discussed this. We even have, it's written in the will that when I die, about 1% of my net worth will go to Serena Williams. Of course, she probably won't even get it because she's much, much, much wealthier than I could ever dream to be. Serena Williams is the most dominating female tennis player, not of our generation, of all time. If you played a game of tennis against Serena Williams, they say she would serve a ball in your direction at 143 kilometers per hour. What that looks like is she would go, and you'd be doing this. And all you'd hear is, but you wouldn't see the ball. It'd go right past you, right? Serena Williams has been playing tennis since she was 3 years old. You know when they talk about doing something for 10,000 hours? She's done her 10,000 hours probably a couple of thousand times over. The most dominating female tennis player of all time, but here's the point. This is the layout of a tennis court. Looks this way and has looked this way since the 1920s. The rules haven't changed, not fundamentally, since the 1980s. So Serena Williams is good at a game where the rules don't change. For you and me, the rules are changing every single day. And if the rules of the game you and I are playing are changing, then how we approach the game has to change. How do we make those changes? First thing I want to do is show you a quick video. This is just a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun. What I need you to do now is to do me a favor and to take away I've got to find the words for this, the seriousness in how we approach things. This is a little bit of banter and a little bit of fun, right? So don't be a prude. Enjoy this. One of my clients in our consulting firm is sorry, that distracted me. One of my clients in our consulting firm is the world's leading producer of condoms. Everybody in this conversation know who they are. They're called Durax. They've been in that game for a long time. They make 59 million condoms a month, and they are only 21% of global market share. Durax has had their own business interrupted by COVID and the digitalization of all things. Because think about it, we went from face-to-face meetings to online meetings. Well, you know what else that means? You can't have online intimacy. Or can't you? So here's what Durax has come up with. This is a video I want you to have a look at. Watch this. And this is how they're thinking about the future of their business. What got you here won't get you there. Watch. I'll get it now. Not sure what happened there. There we go. Should work. The sound on, they can hear it, on their side. Share with you a little bit about what you've just watched. Durex has come up with this new technology called Funderware, and here's the basic idea. Could you be intimate with your partner if you and your partner were in two completely different continents? So you know what they've done? They built an app that's connected to the Amazon platform, and the Amazon platform has a series of intensities and sensors that connect to the app. Then they started making apparel, which has sensors in it and feed in the sensors into the apparel. Basic simple as I understand it. You go on the app, you switch on the breast option, my best option. Do you see what I did there? Breast, best. Okay. So you go on the app, you select the breast option. If your partner is wearing the item, if you touch their breasts, they'll feel it as if you're touching them. Now, this is how they're thinking about the future of their business. It's random, it's insane. You know what? They'll probably never do it. They'll do something different. But the point is, they're willing to do different. And that's a big part of what we learn. You have to be willing to do different. You have to be willing to move and morph and change. Change how you approach your market. Change how you sell your products. The second thing I want to share with you, very, very important. I posted a picture on my, I think it was on my IG day before yesterday. I've got a team of people that work for me. We just announced a transaction I've just done in Dubai. Over December, we announced a transaction that I've done in Middle East, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania. The point is, I've got people who work for me. Young lady reached out to me on IG the other day and said, "Hi, Vusi, I bought your books in December 28th. The books have not been delivered yet." I got a hold of my team. I made sure that she received the books. I then contacted her and phoned her and said, "Did you get the books and when were the books delivered?" So the point about it is, no matter how high up the chain you go, you are never too high up to worry about every single moving part of your value chain, every single customer experience. And that's the thing I want to talk to next, customer experience. So how do you know if you're delivering an amazing customer experience? And I'm going to share with you the how. The thing about this word customer experience, and it annoys me a lot, is because people talk about it, very few people tell you how to do it. So it's one thing to tell me I need to give my customers or my downline or my distributors an amazing experience. That's one thing. But how do I do it? And what I'm going to do with you very quickly is share with you the how. First, that red square, you see it? That red square talks about making sure that what you offer your customer, your distributor, is relevant. In other words, it's got to be personalized and meaningful for them. Now, you can never make personalized and meaningful an experience, a product, a business opportunity unless you know the person of the person you're dealing with. You have to know their hopes, their dreams, their ambitions. What do they want to do with the additional income? Where do they see themselves? Unless you know each and every single person within your downline, it's going to be very difficult for you to make personalized and meaningful the business opportunity. Second, be convenient. The most important part about this convenience is that word consistency. And I want to pause on this word because I think it's really, really important. Arguably, the world's most consistent business is McDonald's. I mean, if you think about it this way. No matter where in the world you are, and I know we're nutrition conscious business, so it's probably not passé to mention McDonald's. But it goes without saying that McDonald's doesn't make the world's most nutritious burgers. They also don't make the world's tastiest burgers. So how come they're the world's largest retailer of burgers? How come tastiest and best doesn't occupy position number one? Well, here's why. McDonald's is very clear about what their business is. Their business is making sure that a McDonald's burger tastes the same no matter where in the world you taste it. And trust me, I've tried this. I've had one in Bangalore, in Bangkok, in Berlin, Benoni, Brooklyn, and one other place starting with B. I can't remember the name. I've actually done it, and it tastes but exactly the same. Why? McDonald's says when it comes to customer service and customer experience, being inconsistently good is worse than being consistently bad. I want to pause and let you take that in for a minute. Being inconsistently good is worse than being consistently bad. So I want to just come home and narrow this very quickly. As a humor me, the South Africans in the conversation. When was the last time you went on social media and saw someone complaining about the experience they got at a Home Affairs? A very long time, right? Does that mean Home Affairs has all of a sudden upped their quality standards or their service standards? No. Do you know why they're not complaining? Because when you go to Home Affairs, you expect bad service. It's built into your emotional expectation. Here's what pisses customers off, and I use that word deliberately. It's when you're good, then you're not, then you're good, then you're not, then you're good, then you're not. So what drives customer experience is actually the oscillation between best and worst. What that means for you, as particularly those of you who've got a downline and who manage people who drive product, you've got to make sure every single person in your downline is consistent on their level of performance. And here's what you've got to learn. If they don't meet that level of performance, you've got to train, retrain, or fire. But you've got to make a decision. Because if you're good and not, and good and not, and good and not, that's a reflection of you. There's a beautiful expression the Americans and the Navy SEALs use. They say this: there is no such thing as a bad soldier, only bad generals. Just think about that. There's no such thing as bad soldiers. There's no such thing as bad salespeople. There's no such thing as bad distributors. Only bad leaders. So if you have people in your downline who are not making the numbers, who are not performing, that's a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of them. That's a reflection of how you train. It's a reflection of what you're willing to tolerate. It's even a reflection of what you let happen. You have to set the standards and constantly make sure people meet those standards. Excellence doesn't have rest time. It doesn't knock off at 5 o'clock. That's not the way it works. Be consistent. Third is this. You have a brand promise. Make sure that you meet that brand promise. Now, that's about reliability. The business of NeoLife, the products of NeoLife, commit something to the market. Your job is to make sure that that which they commit, they meet. You know what really, really loses you credibility? It's not when you don't meet customer expectations. It's when you set the expectation above the point beyond which you can meet. So what a lot of us actually have to learn sometimes in the sales process is you have to be just a little bit more restrained in terms of the business opportunity you promise, knowing well and good that it's going to require a lot of work. Don't sell the upside without making people aware of the amount of commitment it takes to reach that upside. And then finally, this is my favorite part, is you have to learn to be responsive. Now, to the gents watching this conversation, I've got terrible news for you. The ladies are better at this than we are. Women are far better at this than we are. And here's how I know. I have perfectly scientific, proven evidence to support the argument that I'm about to make. My marriage. I've been married 12 years now. That's 12 by 12. That's 144 months. My wife and I have argued about 132 times. Do you know how many arguments I've won? 0. Now, how do I know this? My wife and I argue we argue about once a month about something material. We never argue in December because that's a good month. That's when the bonuses are paid. That's when you go on holiday. I also have scientific evidence to prove we don't argue in December. 2 of my 3 kids were conceived in December, boss. So, we know December is a good month for me, right? So it's Monday, it's January to November. That's when, we're in the institution of marriage. 132 arguments and I've not won a single one. Let's take a step back here because this bothers me. I have 2 degrees, 2 additional diplomas. I run 4 businesses in 3 different parts of the continent. I also run the fastest growing venture capital business in the continent. I'm not bragging, I'm making this point. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. So how come I've never won an argument with my wife? Here's why. Men and women argue differently. To the lads in the conversation, chaps, you know what I'm about to say is true. Our argument as men starts when the argument starts. So if we're going to argue, now is when the argument starts. That's not the way women argue. The argument starts with your wife or your partner 2 weeks ago. You're just not in it. She starts the argument in her head. She archives the evidence about everything she's going to use against you. She even knows how she's going to start the argument in 2 weeks' time. She lets you make the mistakes, knowing she's going to use the mistakes to start the argument in 2 weeks' time. They argue with us in anticipation. So just to make the point, by the time the argument starts, you've lost. She's done decision trees. She knows if he says this, I say that. If he goes this way, I go that way. If he goes midway, before this thing even starts, you're finished. And the point about it, and I come back, is this. If you go back to that graph that I showed earlier, right? Being responsive is about listening to your downline, listening to your distributors, and listening to your customers, not with the intent to respond, but rather with the intent to understand so that you can act. And I think a lot of us in market, especially when you're under pressure, you've got to make the numbers. Especially when you're under pressure, you know what we do? We listen to the criticism and the feedback only with the intent to respond. Sometimes just take a moment, take a breath, understand what you're hearing, deeply internalize it and ask yourself, how do we get better at what we do every day? Listen with the intent to understand so that you can act. The next thing I want to share with you are what I call the cardinal 4 laws of how you build an amazing team, right? Cardinal 4 laws of how you build an amazing team. Law number 1, find the truth. Not your version of the truth, the truth. This is so important. So many of us look for versions of the truth when we're building teams and people without actually finding the absolute truth. And I'll come back to what this means in a minute. Law number 2, aim to be the best at what you do, not the biggest. I want to pause on this. Best might give you biggest. Biggest doesn't mean best. And I'll prove it. Let's just go back to that presentation because I need to show this to prove it. I'll prove it. So I want you to consider and ask yourself, did you ever have a BlackBerry phone? In fact, let's go back beyond that. If you ever had a Nokia phone, right? I did. Remember those days? Yeah. We almost all of us had a Nokia phone. Hands up if you knew who the Nokia shareholder was, Nokia CEO was, what the Nokia share price was, if you read the Nokia audited financial statements. Hell, if you went to a Nokia conference to do new product launches. No one? Yeah, because as is the case with the consumers and users of your products, is also the case with Nokia. They don't care. They only care if it works, if it's significant, and if it's relevant in their lives. They couldn't care what your plans are. They couldn't care what your numbers are. Are you relevant and meaningful in their lives? That's the mistake Nokia made. Let's go back to that presentation. So what happens? Nokia went from best to biggest. They left a massive wide gap. And you know who came in to fill that gap? BlackBerry. BlackBerry then went from best to biggest. Left a massive wide gaping gap. Who came in then? Apple. Today, it's a massive fight between the Americans, the Koreans, and the Chinese. But the point is, all of them are driven by one thing. You make the decision to support best. Whether or not they're the biggest is a consequence of whether or not they're the best. So I want you to ask yourself the question right now. Are you the best? Are you the best at leading, managing, and developing people? Are you the best at visioning the future and communicating that vision to your people? Are you the best at exciting customers about the product that they're buying? Are you the best at exciting your downline about the business opportunity that's in the business? Because if you're not, that's the change you need to make from performance here to here. What got you here won't get you there. Yeah? So, what I've shared here, just to close it off, are these 4 laws that I've spoken about. Let's come to the 3rd law very, very quickly, and I'm cognizant of time. Law number 3 is to recognize that vision excites people, not numbers. I'm a finance guy. So I spend my time looking at income statements and balance sheets. That's what I do. I make a decision about which business to get into, which business opportunity to get into, which business to buy, which technology to license, all of this based on financials. But here's what I recognize. Once I've made the financial assessment, I can't communicate the financial outcomes to my people. They don't care. Let me say it differently. In the most iconic speech of the 20th century, Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream." He said, in fact, "I have a dream that one day the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to break bread on the table of brotherhood? I have a dream today." You know what he didn't say? He didn't say, "I have an income statement, a balance sheet, standard operating processes. I have a presentation that I want to show you. I have this amazing business opportunity. I have a new product to launch." He didn't. He had a dream. So let me ask you the question, how many people in your immediate environment of influence know what your dream is? What you're doing this for? Why you here? Why you bother? How many of their dreams do you know? Way beyond that, because what we learn about business, and it's the oldest lesson that human beings refuse to learn, financial success is a consequence of human connections. It's not the other way around. So you've got to find a way to deeply connect with the people in your sphere of influence, and that's what drives the financial success. And then the fourth and final law. Let me say, this is the hardest law of all. And why is this the hardest law of all? I battle with this. This is the one of all I'm very good at the first three. This is the one that's really, really hard. It's also, I know it's the hardest of all because when I deal with business leaders and business managers and I talk to them about the challenges they're having, this is the law that they all battle with. Very quickly, I want to get to it. I'm going to skip through all of these. I want to get to it and show you this fourth law. This fourth and final law is called leading by the business case. I'll say it again. Leading by the business case. Here's what that means. It means you have to learn to make the best decision for the business case, not the best decision for the people it suits around you. Woo! I'm going to pause, slow it down, give you a second to take that in. So I said 5 minutes ago, 3 perhaps, that financial success is a consequence of human connections, right? Yeah. Leading by the business case infers that when you have to make difficult decisions, the human connection cease to matter. It's what's in the best interest of what you're trying to do. So sometimes that means downgrading people that you love, that you get along with, but that are just not suited for the level they're operating in or for the job that they have. Remember my earlier statement, there are no such thing as bad soldiers, only bad generals? The reason the Americans say that is because if you send a soldier to the field of war and he cannot fire a gun, that's not his fault, that's the general's fault. So what it means for you and me, this thing about leading by the business case, and I want you just to be honest with yourself and pause for a minute and answer this question to yourself. What are the tough, difficult decisions you've got to make right now? Are you willing to make them? A lot of those decisions, by the way, my experience, all 15 years of it, doing what I do, 90% of the difficult decisions we have to make as leaders center around people, not business. It's interesting, right? Think about building a business. You've got to build IT infrastructure, the sales infrastructure, the marketing platform, the HR infrastructure. You've got to build a brand and all the rest of it, but 90% of the success of what you do hinges on people. You have to develop the ability as a leader, if you want to go from here, to lead by the business case. And that's just about making really, really tough decisions when the time is right. Because your people follow what you do, not what you say. They emulate how you act, not what you write down. They will follow and always do your acting way of life rather than the way you're professing life. So those are my thoughts. I'm humbled that you've had me here, Drew, team, and I'm happy for us to jump into a quick Q&A. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Vusi. That was spectacular. Thank you so much for joining us. There's so much value that we can add, we can take away from that session. I was furiously writing notes, but as a NeoLife distributor, it's all about excellence.
Yeah.
Become the best version of you. And something that I took away from that is, own your experience.
Yeah.
And I know some of our greatest leaders in this business, they don't even know who the upline is. The upline disappeared on them, but they decided to become their own leader and to take charge of their own business. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get into some questions. You ready for some questions?
Sure, let's rock and roll.
And we got a couple of questions that came in on a few of the platforms. And one of the questions is market saturation. I spoke to somebody and they said, well, you know what, you're going to run out of people. What are your thoughts around market saturation for a business such as ours?
Why would you in other words, run out of customers?
Customers, distributors?
That'll never happen.
Yeah.
That'll never happen. I'll tell you why that'll never happen. The population CAGR in South Africa is 2.9%. What that means is the compounded annual growth rate of people being born is 2.9%. The economy is growing at 0%. This year it'll go back by 7%. In other words, the size of the economy that can absorb people is getting smaller, which means the people who are being born can't get jobs. That's why they're young people in corners everywhere. So this idea that a direct selling business that sells a good product and has solid value add will run out of people and market, that will never happen. I think you're going to have the inverse problem. The inverse problem is going to have people wanting to join the business to provide for themselves and to take care of their families because there's nothing else they can do. Right? So, I don't think you've got a saturation problem. I think you're going to have an opportunity mix problem, which is a fantastic problem to have.
We are in a good space. We're in a product line and a business space that is currently very relevant and it's growing.
Let me just I just want to make a quick point, right? And I think a lot of people in this kind of business forget this. In my world, I start things from scratch. So when I start, I have a laptop and a phone. And then I build. Right? People in this conversation don't start from scratch. You've got a product, you've got a business, you've got an infrastructure that supports you, you've got training that comes with that, you've got a brand that's well known in market. It takes entrepreneurs 15 years to get to that point.
Absolutely.
If you can't make it work with those odds, right? That's a reflection of the work ethic put in, not the business opportunity. I want to make sure that I'm clear on that point.
It's such a valid point. As a NeoLife distributor, one of our missions, one of our goals is to empower people into business for themselves, but not by themselves, at a low starting point. And that's one of our goals to achieve it. And you mentioned it in your session. You've got to put HR structures in place, the marketing tools. We have all of that. All you have to do is step into it.
That's it.
And we have some people that we have the same product. We don't care where you come from, what you look like, how educated. We'll give you the same price list and product line. We will give you the same compensation plan that our diamond directors have used.
Love it.
Some people win, some people don't.
100%.
And that's what your session basically pivoted on.
100%.
It's up to you. Your success is up to nobody else other than you. So that's a great answer. Thank you so much. The next question is, this is a good one. This is a good one. I am excited. This is from a new distributor, I'm guessing. I'm excited, but I have no support from my friends and my family. How should I handle that?
Woo. You're going to get me into trouble. When I started, true story, my mom and I didn't talk for 5 years. Now, when I say that, people think I'm exaggerating, like we didn't know. My mom and I there was 5 years in my life, I didn't hear my mom's voice.
Wow.
And that was at exactly the time I decided to start my business. There's a reason for this, and the people watching this conversation know what I'm talking about. Predominantly, but not exclusively, in black society, the person who gets sent to school and gets an education has the responsibility to provide for everybody else. Which means you can't gamble with your economic fortunes. The minute you get the job, you've got to make sure the people coming after you can also go to school and you can provide for the family. So imagine my mom's surprise. She sends me to the best schools, I get the best education, I come out of that, I get a job, I get a second job, third job, and I'm like, I'm done, I want to do my own thing. She goes, what are you talking about? I remember my mom's words, exact words. She said to me, how do you think you're going to provide for your family, not saying the words Morabas? In her mind, my economic success was a function of going somewhere and working for someone. But that's not my mom's fault. And I want to be clear. This is not the fault. It's generally just the generation she came from. Right?
Absolutely.
Today, we're best friends. Why? Because I had to go through that journey in my own life and then show her what's possible. So what I want to say to this person is this. If the people around you are not excited, that's the challenge to prove what's possible, not the reason to believe that it won't work, right? And by the way, this is so important. If there is no resistance, it's a path not worth traveling.
Amen.
So walk that path on your own, and as you prove it and prove it's possible, you make it easier for the people coming after you to do the same thing.
Yeah. And I think it is becoming easier now because perceptions are changing. I know when I was at school, I grew up in this NeoLife entrepreneurial family. I saw my parents achieve complete financial freedom through NeoLife. Yet the school system taught me to get an education, to go and find a job. In fact, the first 13 years of my working career, I worked in the investment banking corporate world. And you know what? It taught me exactly what I didn't want. And
You've gone from investment banking to NeoLife?
To NeoLife.
Holy moly.
But there's a story in that journey because the problem that this person is experiencing is not unique.
Yeah.
I would say it happens to every single NeoLife distributor.
Absolutely.
I remember taking this, when my wife and I made the decision, hey, we're going to become NeoLife distributors, taking our excitement to one of my best friends. He's still one of my best friends to this day. And you know what he said to me? He said to me, Drew, my aunt tried that once. It didn't work. You got a great career. Why are you doing this to yourself? Guess what? The first thing that was in my mind was quit. And I believe we are programmed that way. When things get difficult, we just try to get out of that discomfort.
100%.
And it's something that as an entrepreneur, near-life entrepreneur, you're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
But can I just share a practical tip on how I overcame that? My wife and I said, okay, what are our dreams? Okay, remember, Vusi spoke about dreams. What is your dream? Why are you doing this near-life business? Why did you say yes? And we said, okay, well, will he educate our children one day? Will he look after us in retirement? I love to travel. Will they take us overseas with our children every year? Will he get me out of the corporate world? And obviously the answers were no.
No.
And so we made a decision that evening. I remember sitting in bed together that we would no longer put our future in the hands of other people's opinions. And it's one of the greatest decisions I ever made. Okay, next question. Okay, this is another relevant one specifically for the South Africans on this call, and I know many African countries. All we hear is doom and gloom. The economy isn't growing. Things are going backwards. What is your take on this?
It's true, but so is gravity. I just, for me, I think here's what people do. So 2 comments to make on this. First, economic cycles are as natural as seasons. If there is an up cycle, there must be a down cycle. If there is night, there must be day. If there is summer, there must be winter. It's a natural part of life. So when people are saying the economy is going to go through a difficult time, yeah, that's true. It's just not going to be difficult for me. I'm sure it's going to be difficult. But I make the decision that for Vusi Tempokai it's not going to be difficult, right? And so the first thing to do is to acknowledge the reality. The second thing to do is to then say, well, if this is the reality for everybody, how do I make sure that it's not the reality for me? Then what happens is you have to take ownership. You recognize that you're driving. I had one business last year where we had to retrench 80% of the people in that business. Now, very difficult 2 weeks of my life, I got to tell you. But you know what happened immediately after that? We started working, we started grinding. Then we win the best impact investment firm in Africa. Why? Because that's just what it takes. You got to go, it's tough, sure, but it's not the end of the world. Ride the cycles. If everybody's saying gloom and doom, so that it's going to be tough, absolutely. But this is what this business is. It's an opportunity for people to provide for themselves in an environment that's tough. So actually for this business, it should be the inverse. You should be thriving. You should be signing on more people. You should be getting more users of your products. It really is about how you see it. Just a final note on this. Reality is 100% perception. 100% perception. Your world is 100% the way you choose to see it. Here's how I know this. I go to the gym, right? And there's a mirror in the gym. This is a true story. In the weight section, and anyone who goes to the gym knows this, in the weight section, did you know that they distort the mirrors to make you look wider?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And did you know that when you go to the bathroom, they distort the mirrors to make you look slimmer? Why?
Smoke and mirrors.
Reality. So you're standing there doing weights. You're going, jeez, I'm bumping, but look at me. Then you go to the bathroom. You go, I'm seeing results because there's a psychology behind it. The recognition that if in your mind you believe it, then you're going to actualize it. What you have to learn is that reality follows perception. Perception doesn't follow reality. So what you believe in your mind will be. And as it becomes, you believe it. But if you're waiting for the evidence first, you're never going to change it. So I think be in charge of your own perception, be in charge of your own future, and you can shape the reality that you want.
That is spot on. And from a, the economy is we're all dealing with the same thing. Spend time with people that talk about the possibilities 100%. Of the economy. If you spend time with people that are just talking about how bad it is, that is going to be your reality. So find some friends that become your mirror, and if it is a ripped physique, that they project that onto you.
100%.
Vusi, thank you for being with us,
It's been a pleasure, brother. Appreciate it.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
God bless.
Cheers, everyone.
As we close today's event, I just want to thank our production crew. Thank you, Brandon, Liz, Vusi, Kendra, and our distributors who so willingly shared their stories, their success tips. Thank you for your comments and your interaction on our Zoom channel, on our Facebook and our YouTube channels. My wish and my prayer for you is to know that you are in the right place. I want you to know and I want you to believe that this is going to be the most successful year of your life. Know that you were put on this earth to be blessed. Know it. Because when you are blessed, you can go out and be a blessing to others. Our failure helps nobody, but our success can help many. Our vision and our mission is clearer than ever before. To make this world a healthier and a happier place. To end the trend of poor health and financial struggle. NeoLife doesn't achieve this on its own. Individuals do not achieve this on their own. This will be achieved and done together as a NeoLife family. When you and I reach out to just one more person, and then just one more person again, and every day we never stop reaching out to just one more person. Because tonight there will be millions of people that will lie awake because they are scared and uncertain of what the future holds. Yet in your hands, in my hands, we hold the hope and the solutions to what they are searching for. Let's be that change. Let's help enough other people achieve great health. Let's help enough other people make more money. And you will be blessed beyond measure. Blessed financially, yes, but it's so much more than that. Helping and empowering other people will fill your life with purpose, with passion, and more satisfaction than you know what to do with. We don't do this on our own. We do this together. Think doubt and fail. Think victory and succeed. Think little goals and expect little achievements. Think big goals and expect big success. Let's go out into our communities with a collective mindset of success, believing that the time is right and believing that you will achieve big success. And here I want to end off today with a challenge to every one of you on this call. Take your sponsoring goal and double it. Take your PV goal and double it. Take your time frames that you expect to achieve those goals in and halve them. God bless you all and good night.